I hope so.
Well,
And
we're always
I'm not.
capturing that little clip at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. You're on, Gene.
Oh, I don't see it. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Well, anyhow, good evening. We're glad you're here. We're glad we're here. Uh, it's the Sunday night webinar, and you can see that on the screen. It's January 21st. This is Web 202, I believe. It's covered on my screen. And I'm Gene Colbago.
And I'm Roger Carroll.
And we hope to have some good stuff for you tonight, things that you can use. And, if you do have any questions or concerns or whatever, please don't hesitate to raise your hand or send a question or whatever, and we'll try to get you as a part of the conversation. That would be very, very good. Hey, this week, I saw something, well, actually today, that kind of reminded me, why this district and why we, Roger and I, are talking so much about Office 365 and the Microsoft products and trying to show you, how valuable they can be for you and for the use in the classroom. And I saw a chart today, and let's see, I think it's the next slide if it'll come up. There it is. This was a chart I saw that was kind of interesting. I will say this, in all fairness, it was on a Microsoft page, but where this, you can read the report there on the right, but it deals with the employer's most desired skills for top jobs. And you'll see that a large number of employees, 43%, are asking that their potential, I guess, employees have Microsoft Office skills. This is part of the, the digital citizenship becoming ready for the jobs of the future and things like that. So this is one of the reasons why we need to prepare our students with these skills and show them, how to use them properly. And with that, that's, I've got a couple of things that I might like to do along that line tonight, and I kind of put them into this PowerPoint show because this is part of the Office. And the next slide, if we go there, come on, there it is a site. Every week, or if you've joined us almost every week, I talk about YouTube and YouTube channels. And this is a particularly useful one. I hope this works. There we go, I think. There we go. I hyperlinked the picture in the PowerPoint. And this is called Office Videos. You'll see that there are almost 200,000 subscribers, so it's a goodly number. And the ones that I am particularly interested in are the ones at the bottom. By the way, maybe I should go back just a second. Channels are places on YouTube where people have an area where they put up videos of a certain type, of a certain, they're all connected in a certain way. And I've talked before of the many subscriptions I have over here. You can subscribe to these, and all you need to do is to log into YouTube with your Google login, and you're there, and then you can subscribe to these channels. And then when you get into YouTube, you can just click on them over here. As you can see, Office Videos, and you can go there. But anyhow, now YouTube has an Office Video channel, and at the bottom is the one that I kind of liked. And I started watching this one today, the Office Update January 2018. As we've said, whoops, and we've lost it. What did I do with it? There it is. Almost monthly, Microsoft puts out an update for Office, adding new ideas, things you can do with Word and all the various tools in the program. And it's good to keep up on them, and it's also good to keep your Office updated. We've shown you how to do that, and if you don't know how to do that, please let us know. We've talked also about you can't update your school laptop. That has to be done by the the people in the school, but we can recommend that you do yours at home. And as I was watching this today, it was it was just put up a week ago, and it's 9 minutes long, and you can see I watched that much of it, and I said, whoa, I've gotten great ideas for 3 or 4 weeks for you. And the first thing that they talked about in the update was something that maybe you're not from. Well, let's see if I can get to the. Oh, I'm sorry. Duh. I got to go back to my PowerPoint, don't I? My next slide here. Okay. Why am I? Oh, I'm. I clicked on it, and instead of going to the next slide, it went to. Okay. Let me go to my previous here. Yeah. The first thing I'd like to show you. Let me end the show here. There were a couple of things that they talked about in this update. One of them, well, both of them were not really super new, but things that you might like to know. First of all, when you create a PowerPoint and you want to share it with somebody, I guess the first requirement would seem to be that the other person would have to have PowerPoint as well to be able to view it. And this is what they were talking about, that there were several ways that you can share your PowerPoints with other people who do not have PowerPoint. And obviously the first one is fairly simple. If you go to File, and you go to Save As, and I'm just going to click on this PC to show you. Come on, real quick. Why are you not doing things tonight? And you can go to desktop or whatever. Instead of saving it as a PowerPoint presentation, you could go down and save it as another type of presentation, the most common being a PDF, okay? And then just hit Save. This is probably going to tell me, you know what, I'm going to put another name for it, okay? Because I already have it saved, and hit Save. And it will change your PowerPoint. And now, as you can see, it opened my Acrobat Reader, and now we have the same thing in a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint as a PDF. So that's one of the simple things you can do. The next thing, and they were kind of touting this, was you can actually convert your PowerPoint into a movie. And this was kind of interesting. And they were now showing that you can convert it into a pretty high resolution video. And to do that is very simple. If you're in your PowerPoint, all you need to do is go to File, Export. Instead of Save, you're going to Export. Now, there's the Create a Video. You want to create a video. If you want to create a video that becomes a DVD that you can show on a DVD player, you can click there and it'll help you basically walk you through the steps needed to create a DVD that is playable in a DVD player with your PowerPoint show on it. But what they were talking about in the January update is this is HD, high definition, 1080. That's generally what we have on our televisions right now, you know, if you have the big screens. But what's coming out now, some of you may have a high definition or a 4K a television, and you can actually save them in a almost, well, a double the size, double the quality of the high or the full HD. Okay, that is pretty darn good, and it's pretty simple to do. All you need to do is select this, select the one you want. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Let me go back here. You select the one you want. We'll pick that one, okay? And down below is create a video. In between, you have two little items that you can select. How much time do you want to spend on each slide? You can, 7, 8 seconds. This is in seconds, by the way. I'm saying 6 seconds. And now, I have not set up any timing yet or recorded. If you want to do a narration along with, excuse me, get rid of that, with the movie, you can add that in to the movie just by selecting this. Go down here. I won't go through this because it does take some time. And you could select record, timing, and narration. And if you click on this, I'll just show you, I think, what it is. It opens up. Oh, look at that ugly person. I'm going to click me off right now. Okay, sorry to scare you there. What it does is it will open up an area where you can, up here's the record, you can record your narration of the slide, and as you get done you can move to the next slide, so forth and so on, and it sets up the timing to fit what you've created here. Okay, it's pretty simple. The thing at the bottom here, you can turn on your camera, and actually, it shows you there. I'm going to, I thought, okay, see, okay, and you can actually see yourself there. And good evening, everybody. I hope it didn't scare you too much. I'm going to turn me off. And you can add that to your movie and then just hit create video. I'm not going to create this video now simply because it takes about 30 to 40, well, depending on the size of the video or the PowerPoint, of course. This one took me about 30 seconds, and just to show you, it's right here. And if I click on this, there is the video. As you can see, it's showing as a video here. See, and running through. Pretty simple. And sometimes that might be good if you want to show it on a screen or something like that. You don't need your PowerPoint running. You could put it on your smartboard and get a pretty good view of it just from that.
If it's small enough, you can put it on your web page if you want something there as well.
Yes.
And we have talked about that in the past, because it's an MP4 file that it creates.
Yes. Exactly. There's a couple of weird things you can actually do. I don't recommend them because I played with them today, but over here, well, first of all, you can do full screen and things like that. But here, in case you want to show your screen, you can minimize it, kind of have it running up here in a small thing. If you were trying to show people steps, you can only make it about that big. You can make it, say, about that big. Okay, you could be maybe doing something on the screen and then, showing this. If it were on a smart board, that might be large enough to for the kids to see. I know right now you're probably not seeing that very well. So let me bring this back. Okay, now another thing you can do over here, there are 3 little buttons or dots. Now you can play with these all you want. but the one that drove me kind of weird is play as a 360 video. I am not sure where this came from, but it's kind of weird. I'm going to click on this. Now you'll notice up here I have a little, this shows where it is, and you can, it's in 3D, 360, like wraparound. Okay, I'm not sure that many of the PowerPoints would be. See, and I mean you can move it up and down. I am going to turn that off.
But that was responding to your mouse, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You can, again, thank you. I should have said that. Click on this, and then here's my mouse, and as I'm moving the mouse, I can move around, take it and move I can grab it and move it, the slide. And it shows where I am on the side, okay? If I want to recenter, I can reset, that's the center of the slide. It's just a kind of a weird view. I'm not sure what good it would be, Raj, but it's kind of cool. Anyhow, 2 ways people can view your PowerPoint, without having the PowerPoint program itself. Now, another thing that they mentioned in passing and that I wanted to show you real quickly tonight is, and just if take a few minutes and then Raj, you can have the rest of the time, okay? And it hit me today, when we show a PowerPoint, generally we start at the beginning and go to the end sequentially, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But does that always fit what we want to do? What if we had a slide here? Let me go to, all right, had a slide here, and you'll see that these are a little bit blocked out. Let me just go to slideshow from the current slide so you can see it. I have the branches of the government, and my next slide, if I can get there, okay, see, goes that way. But what if you didn't want to do it sequentially? Somebody wanted to talk about the legislative branch from this slide. You can link PowerPoint slides so that you do not have to do them in order. In other words, if I went down here, clicked on this, it takes me to the executive branch, which is not the next slide. If I click on home, it brings me back. If I click on legislative, it brings me to the legislative slide. Click on home, I get back. Now, just to show you, let me end the show here. You'll see that these are the slides, but they're not necessarily in that particular order. And this is known as linking. Okay, you have to just put, it's pretty simple to put little links in. Now, you'll notice that this one, these two are underlined and they're kind of grayed out because I've clicked on them. It's kind of like, when you click on a link and then you go back to it, it's turned from blue to purple. Well, the same thing here, it turns to gray for some reason. Now, the judicial doesn't go anywhere because I have not linked it. And it's a pretty simple thing to do if you wish to, say, link this down to this page, which is 3 slides away. All you need to do, let's see if I can do it, is highlight the word. We're going to go up here, insert, in the insert tab, go over to link. This is really difficult. And you'll say, what the heck? It's not there. Go down to the bottom, it'll say insert link. And another window will open. Notice it says place in this document. Well, I'm going to look over here. I want to link it to slide number 7. So I'm going to pull this down, click slide 7, hit OK. You'll notice now I've got a little link here that should, when I click on it, take me to slide 7. It's that simple. Now, the only thing is they want to recommend that if you do that, and it's another way of reviewing it, you'll notice that on each of the other slides, I've put a home in case I want to get back up to that 4th slide that had the this branch, okay? That's my home slide, I'm calling it. So what I can do is I can go here. Oh, I don't know why I have that there. I can insert a quick text box here. I'm just going to do it very, very quickly. Type in home. Okay. I can't get my mouse to highlight it. There we go. I'm going to highlight that. Okay. First of all, I'm going to color it because I want to keep it the same color as the other slides or other text. I'm going to go insert. We wanted to insert a link. And as I did before, I'm going to go down to the bottom, click insert link. I want to go to a place in this document, and I look over here. I want to go to slide 4. Click on slide 4, hit OK. And now, if I click on that, it takes me back. So the point of that was you do not have to do PowerPoint necessarily in order. And sometimes it does help to link things back and forth. And it's just a pretty interesting way of setting up things. And you can then, discuss, organize whatever you want. So that's basically what I was going to show you that was on, well, that was part of what was on the video on the YouTube channel of the updates for January. There's a whole lot more dealing with Sway and a few other little things that I'd like to talk about. Well, maybe we can talk about that next week. But anyhow, that's what I would the PowerPoint portion that I wanted to mention tonight. Raj, anything more there, or shall I just?
Well, I say that I don't think that's really new to PowerPoint.
No, it's no. Oh, no. It was not new, but they were. No, golly, no. It's been around for God.
Because I remember talking about that.
Oh yes, long time ago.
Yes.
Oh sure. But what I'm saying is they mentioned that, and what was very, very new is the ultra high definition video. You can say they were bragging about that, and then he had mentioned about links. He had mentioned about links. So I just thought, gee, maybe people don't know that those exist, but yes, they have been around for.
Well, we talked about a couple of times now. I recall writing your own adventure stories.
Yes,
and you can use in Office 365. You can use forms to write an adventure story, but within that PowerPoint and that linking, you could write your own adventure story there instead of judicial, legislative, whatever. It could be, go to the store, and then the store, depending on what you pick in the store, goes to another and do that kind of stuff and just branching it all off. But yeah, it's really, like you say,
it's kind of
very
cool.
simple.
Yeah, and by the way, just in not change the subject. You mentioned forms, and I would just reading one of the many notices and articles we get from one of our guys, Richard Byrne. He has discovered forms. Apparently, he is a big Google guy, Google Docs, and he was kind of very, very impressed with Microsoft Forms, and he was discussing it and showing people how to use it in one of the last articles that he sent out. So if you're not familiar with Forms, that's another thing that maybe if we have a lot of newer people that we should take a look at too. Raj,
I think we could highlight that. We've talked about it.
Yeah,
just like we've talked about Sway and some of the other.
Yeah, the Sway needs. By the way, that was one of the things in the updates. I had gotten hit to the PowerPoint part of the update, and didn't get into the Sway part, but I'm just wondering if they had done something new in Sway, because he was talking about that also. So anyhow, why don't I swap that over to you, and we'll see what Raj has to say, and maybe okay, if I can find out what's going on here. Yes. Okay, Raj.
Okay.
You should have the screen.
You should be looking at
your screen.
One of my things here. Last week I mentioned some of the changes that we were making in the recording of the webinars. This is last Sunday night's webinar. It is here in its full feature film presentation, roughly 59 minutes of the presentation recorded, so you'll get the sound and the video of all the things that both Gene and I talk about. But as I mentioned last week, I took some of the major topics to make it easier for anyone who wants to review any of this or go back and touch base with some of the things we talked about. And I hyperlinked them in here since we're talking about, linking. We talked briefly about the Microsoft Garage projects again last week. So there's a link to their main page. Gene mentioned the Quick Starter template, which is a research assistant within PowerPoint. And it's only if you have I think the updated 2.16 version.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when that came out, but yeah, you should update.
Again, the issue, and it keeps coming back to me, is the district is not very good at updating these features. I have it on one of my devices, but I cannot get the most recent updates on my school-issued laptop to see some of these things. So I have to go to another device to do this. So that's going to have to be a part of a discussion going forward as more and more people, parents, etc., are installing these. That kind of updating goes on. We talked about Larry, one of our favorite resources. This goes to his websites of the day. This link goes to Gene's school webpage. This goes to mine. And Gene mentioned YouTube last week, the Writers Workshop channel. So this will go to that. But if you want to, you missed last week or you want to quickly review it, you can run the video. But the nice thing about the video is you can fast forward. They call it scrubbing if you're in edit mode, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. You can fast forward to any point in the video and pick it up at that point and maybe rewatch an explanation or something of that nature with it, as well as those things are already hyperlinked. So your note taking doesn't have to be the best to keep up with the titles and the things that we say as we just kind of move through our presentations. So this is on the Teacher Resource Center page. You go over here to the January recordings, and because we had the 2 weeks ago the technical difficulty, we weren't able to have a January 7th webinar, but this is last Sunday's. We'll repeat this again for tonight's if the recording is successful. And so just a little change of format, make things easier. If you take advantage of any of this, just drop us a note and let us know good, bad, and ugly about it. If you like it, if you think it's a good idea, if it helps you find some resources and so on. Again, and this is the recording of the entire webinar with all of the antics that we have from time to time. Okay, as I mentioned to Gene before we started, tonight's kind of video night. He talked about it. There are some changes coming to PowerPoint in the recording and in that feature as well, because some things are coming and some things are going away. But one of the things that I really want to focus on is, What do you do with your video? How are you doing video? And just kind of as a preface to any of this, on your dashboard, would you raise your hand if you have a smartphone? And you'll see where this comes into play. Anybody who has a smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or a Android device, if you have one of those, and whatever you use it for, just simply raise your hand. I don't see, only about 4 people. Well, let's, 4 or 5. Okay, maybe you can't find your dashboard to raise your hand, but that gives me a place to talk about this, as well as whether you're still using an actual video camera or a still camera that can capture video. Okay, good. That'll give us a place to go here. Well, the question I have, and Gene, you'll remember this, and we used to do a lot with video. Microsoft had a couple of really nice products in Windows 7, and prior to that, one of them called, I think it was My Photo Story, and then there was a Microsoft Windows Movie Maker, which made creating visual displays very simple to do, very nice tools. The Movie Maker, actually My Photo Story still exists, or at least you could, it hasn't been updated, but you could still get it and use its features there, which is allow you to seamlessly create a really nice visual presentation. I see there's a question there, Gene. I don't know if you want to take a look at that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching you and not looking at the control panel.
Okay.
I apologize.
I don't know if it went down or not. The other thing was the Microsoft Video Creator, Movie Maker.
Yeah.
Well, they keep teasing us, they being Microsoft, us being Gene and myself, that they're coming out with, at some point, a new feature called, I think it's in the write-ups, called Story Mix, which is a video creator with bells and whistles and making things easy to deal with in the way of video production. That's a very strong component in Common Core and Language Arts, is using other media to tell stories, etc. So I'm bringing this back to your cell phone. Gene, you take video with your cell phone, correct?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What do you do with it?
It ends up on Google Photos for the most part, or we share it with people.
Okay. Or you want to show a video. I don't know if you have Apple TV or not, but you can.
Oh, yes.
Put it up on your screen. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you edit your video? Or do you?
Very rarely do. I do have another group of tools that I purchased, Applian, that I can do some video editing with, but that's...
Well, I'm about to save you a lot of money.
Oh, goody. I can do that.
Okay. I have, I think the last count was about 3,500 images, not 3,500 videos, because my phone would blow up. But between videos that I take, a second or two here, there, everywhere, and still pictures and so on my smartphone, my iPhone, which I store in the cloud. Everything goes up there. Do I have Google Photos and all of that stuff going on? But I want to do more with the video than that. So, and that just kind of like a little thing I wanted to pursue going back, quite a while. I want to show you, and you might recognize this. It is part of your Windows 10. It's Photos. If you go into your apps, you have it right here, or it might be over in the list unless you put it on your start menu, you have photos. Did you know that in your photos, when you look at a video, you can edit it? Now, I'm going to show you this in a second, okay? What's going on here. You can probably figure that out if you can see that, okay? Going into, here are photos, and I haven't put everything. I'm going to see all photos. I don't have a ton of them. This is on my school laptop, so I don't have a lot here. I've got more in my other one. But notice there's some video here, okay? I want to show you something, Gene. This is where we're gonna hope that this works.
Oh yes.
I'm going to show you a video. This is the store. This is something what you're seeing right here. Now you should be able to.
We'll wipe it off the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
You
now
should
you
have
see my.
it.
I
Yeah.
do have my screen. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let me minimize stuff here. Okay. Why don't you give it back to me, Gene? We'll play because this really is not essential. Let's see. Okay, so now we're looking at.
Now we're back.
Now there's my photos. This is on my computer. This is not in the cloud or anywhere. This is on my district laptop here, saved on the C drive somewhere. How did I get it there from my iPhone, from my smartphone? Let's see if I can. I want to see all the pictures here. I don't know if this is it or not. You have an option on your smartphone where to save your photos. I wanted to pull that up. But you can save any photo, any video. You can save it to your, actually you can save it to your OneDrive. You can say I saved it to a Dropbox and my OneDrive in Office 365. So you need a way to get them into an editable format for your video editor. Here are those images right here. Here's the movies and so on in my OneDrive in here. So you pull them into. I want to show you one more video if I can, Gene. Let's see what happens here. I want to show you using the tool here. I'm going to click on this. And here you go into the edit and create. And this is where you can add in a whole slew of edit features using video. And it creates a timeline and so on. You can create video with text. You can do a number of things. You already have this on your Windows 10 Photos app. Okay, so I want to show you one more video, and I hope this is going to work now. I took that brief Stormtrooper video, and I used the features within the editing tool here, within Photo, to show you where all of that stuff is coming from. Okay, and let's come back to me. Okay, and I'm going to bring up the Photos tool here. This tool lets you edit videos and put in, if I select this here, let's see, there we go. Okay, those are my drives. And a whole suite of tools lets you edit, create, you can do some, like I said, some automatically. I'm going to pick a video here. And now I'm going to edit that. I'm going to go into the tools. I don't want to share it. This is my collection. Where are we? Down here? A whole bunch of other videos. It's a simple matter of dragging and dropping special effects. You can trim the video. I eliminated a whole bunch of stuff on. This is the video here that I started off with. There were people walking in front of me. There were people darting back and forth across the street. So I was able to trim the video back to a point where none of that was going to interfere with it. Then I could drag and drop in all the special effects, the little flashing bursts like from the laser guns that the stormtroopers had, the explosions on the street, the lightning effect you can do. There are a number, and it's all built into the editing tool. This is what I started with. Notice it was over a minute long. The finished product is about 37 seconds long, the one that I uploaded into my drive here for the webinar tonight. And it is a really simple tool. No manuals, but there are some tutorials you can look at if you like. And it's a nice, simple way to edit video that you have. This is my OneDrive. I want to go back to my my screen here and look at your photos. Name them. You could do all kinds of things. But the nice thing was, you can import them. You can select them. You can save them out, and as I did with, I saved it up to my OneDrive up in the cloud, so that I could then use it and share it in school or share it wherever you want. There are a number of ways you want to try and get your video into a form where you can work with it and then pass it on. One of the things that is troubling is, okay, I've got lots of video on my phone. Besides showing my phone or handing it around, you can, if you have Apple TV or a way to display your Android device on a large screen TV, you're still confined there. If you want to do more with it and edit it, yes, if you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone, you can edit it in iMovie. You can still export it out there. You can do a number of things with it there. There are some other tools. I want to show you this one. This is called Shotcut. Oh, let me bring that back. This is a free, here it comes. This is an editing tool. This was free. I think you can pay a couple bucks, like $2.99. There's another one here. And this might remind you a little bit more of some of the tools that we've maybe used in the past. You can open a file here. I'll open this one. This was kind of fun. You can't hear it because I haven't exported it yet, but I want to play with this, and it's got playing some music in the background. And what this is a coffee cup I got as a Christmas present, and I wanted to show my nephew in Ohio, not my nephew, my grandson, how it works. And it takes the hot liquid and it slowly, you can't hear it, but it's Hogwarts and the Harry Potter theme music. And this is from, it's like a magic map that tracks everybody. And then you can edit here. This, Gene, reminds me a little bit of Audacity.
Yes, for video.
for video, but there's a whole lot you can do with it here, and you can export it in a number of different formats. Over here, I clicked on the export button, MOV files, but the one of choice, of course, is MP4s. That seems to be the accepted standard, and you can do a whole lot with the resolution and whatnot with this. Here, that's called Shotcut. And there's another one. This is a free. This is the one. It has ads in it. It's a Movie Maker free video editor. There's a free version. It does have ads in the free version. I don't think it limits you in any other way. There might be some watermarks, but when you bring in some video, then you can trim it. You can do things with slideshow and so on, and you can bring a couple of videos in and they merge. Very simple to use here as well. I got it out of the Microsoft Store. And it's called Movie Maker Free Video Editor. There it is here, and it says I own it. I'm glad I did that, but it's a free download to start with. So there are a number of these. The only one you want to be careful of are the ones with the little asterisk here that says in-app purchases for some of these tools that you get. But it really simple to use, but using that to capture video, whether how you do it in your classroom, it's like if you want to use your personal device, you can capture the video, you can put it up on a OneDrive and then share it out to kids to edit it, because they also have Windows 10 and the Photos app, the Photos program on their devices. Name your video. You can do a whole lot of stuff with it here, which is really kind of neat. I wanted to look at a couple of other things here. Gina, how are we doing for some?
You got about 8 minutes, sure.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Running up quickly.
Yeah, I wanted to see what our other possibilities were for tonight, and they had to do with basically all with this video editing here. We used to give workshops on these. In fact, I'll mention it now. I added a new question in tonight's survey that people will get, and it asks whether or not people would be interested in, say, a Saturday morning workshop, hands-on, simple yes or no question, or maybe after school workshop. And I know those are tough. People put in a long day in the classroom. The last thing they want to do is go for another hour or so after school for any one of the things that we're willing to do. But I know some workshops are going on Saturdays as well. It might be easier to attend something like video editing or the things that Gene talked about, using PowerPoint or any of the tools within Office 365. A lot of them we can show and tell here, but you kind of need a hands-on experience to really benefit from any of these new tools, to get a chance to play with them, and that doesn't happen during the course of these webinars either. I mean, we can do a 1 hour webinar, but again, you need the hands-on experience to get comfortable with these tools. So look for that in tonight's webinar. I'm going to see, Gene, if I can get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'll go to my Just Tech. This is my Flipboard, and I know we've been adding stuff to both our Flipboards. Here's this is the one that you were talking about, Gene. I think sending screencasts from your inbox. It's a it's a Chrome extension basically, and
we haven't gotten to that tonight, so we'll have to.
You can quickly send out an email that includes a video.
Or and you can create videos too. Yeah.
Here's an article. I put this in, I think, in the professional development, the informal professional development folder as well. But it talks about students being more than digital citizens, but being digital leaders, and makes a really a nice, strong argument for that as well. And it's still not in our curriculum. We've got it all over the website, but it's still not nailed down in the curriculum by grade level, and what subject area is going to teach if it's a secondary school and so on. But this is the web. You can look at these flipboards from both from my website and from Gene's as well when you get to it. If you want to get to my web page, we get into flipboards over here, and you can see the Just Tech here, which would lead you right. You get hit on that link, it'll go back to it. And you can look at some of these articles as you can with Gene's from Gene's page as well. Doesn't look like that's getting back to it, but there we are. So, Gene, you want to wrap it up? We got a minute or two.
Hey, yeah. Yeah. I guess we could do that. Again, my clipboard, which you can get to, as Roger explained, just added a lot of things here. Just real quickly, you know, highlight them, but you know, maybe next week have some time to take a little more look at them. You know, we talk about Google as the website of that most people use. Here's some great kids safe search engines for kids, and right next to it, for the high school students, for those people in high school, some academic search engines for students who are doing maybe research or something a little bit more than is needed for, needed by Google, you know, that are provided by Google. Just looking down, really great things. There's a great thing, if, this is again for probably for the high school, if you are working on research with your students, and it's a great idea to do that because of the, you know, they're going to college and so forth. There is a great Common Craft show here that will explain very nicely, in a very simple way, what you need to cite, and it explains, you know, what is, you know, plagiarism, so forth. Really a nice thing. Very well done. Rubrics, we talk about, you know, expectations for students, showing them what we expect from them, and rubrics are a great way. So you might want to take a look at that, the rubric tools, and also, well, not only are there tools, there are hundreds of rubrics that are already created that you can download and adapt if you need for your classroom. So I just wanted to, you know, just get real quickly, take a quick look. And again, I keep talking about the YouTube channels for teachers. There's a little article here on 10 of them. And I don't want to brag, but Raj, we've talked about every one of those sites. You know, and so we're kind of, you know, if you need a good review of some of the things that we've mentioned, some of the sites we've talked about, you might want to take a look there. And with that, you know, I wish there were another hour or two that, you know, we could talk, but I'm saying you have been very, very patient, and thank you for listening to us for this hour. And just remind you that in about, an hour or so, you don't have to wait for it, you will be getting a thank you email from, it'll sound like it's from me, but it's actually from GoToWebinar, from the company that supports these, or, you know, these webinars. And as Raj said, please open the thank you, because inside there's a link to a survey, and in the survey there are a couple of questions. Raj mentioned that one new question that he would like you to respond to, so please do that. What I will be doing, you know, what I do is about Thursday or probably Friday, I go in and I collect that report that shows, you know, your responses and so forth, and I do make a list of the attendees and send that off to the teacher resource center, so you can get your credit. So with that, thank you again. Hope you got an idea or two. If you have any questions, please let us know. And we hope you have a great week. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight, Raj.
Yes, I'm going to say goodnight, Gene. And to everybody else, too.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.